الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللهم أجعل في قلبنا نورا وفي سمعنا نورا وفي بصرنا نورا ويسر أمرنا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just a quick translation of the very short but apt prayer our real father made was he asked Allah to put in our hearts light and to put in our eyesight light and to guide us to the straight path. Thank you very much. Without further ado, we'll go on to the next item on the agenda, which is actually still me. I am Muhammad and I'm going to give the welcome address. If you don't mind me stepping up there because I have a speech written to read, and then we'll proceed from there. Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What I just said in plain English is peace, blessings be upon you all. Esteemed Nobel Laureate, Mr. Ali Shrinka, our representative of the Emir of Zazzau, the Royal Highness, and all our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our creatives, lovers of literature, and people like us who accidentally wandered in and are not pretending to belong, welcome. Today we gather to celebrate two things that the world often undervalues: the power of words and the spirit of creativity. And as we shall see, both are inseparable. We live in a world where creativity is often misunderstood, at best dismissed as impractical, and at worst actively stifled, sometimes by society, sometimes by our families, and often by an unsolicited career advisor who insists that art is just a face you'll outgrow. But creativity is not a face. It's a pulse, a force, a necessity. It is the brush that paints civilizations, the pen that scripts revolutions, and the voice that refuses to be silenced. That is why Malam Bello came up with CreatTent. It is a sanctuary for young creatives, a place where imagination is not just welcomed, but nurtured. At CreatTent, young minds will be encouraged to explore, to question, and to build worlds, sometimes with words, sometimes with strokes of color, and sometimes with ideas. And speaking of the power of words, tonight we also unveil a collection of books filled with aphorisms, distilled wisdom from the brilliant mind of my good friend, Bello Muhammad. Aphorisms are like intellectual espresso, short yet strong, and capable of keeping you up at night. They are the diamonds of thought, cut down to their essential brilliance, yet sharp enough to leave a mark. A single aphorism understood in its fullness can change the way you see the world. The Greeks knew this well. Plutarch observed, what we achieve inwardly will change outer reality. Sophocles remarked, much wisdom often goes with fewest words. And Diogenes, the philosopher who lived in a barrow, but thought with the clarity of kings, when Alexander the Great asked if he could do anything for him, he said, yes, stand away from my sunlight. He actually meant that true wealth is needing nothing at all, even from the great Alexander. The Muslim world too has been a treasure trove of aphoristic wisdom. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reminded us, a believer is not bitten from the same hole twice. A profound lesson in learning from experience. Imam Ali warned The tongue is like a lion. If you let it loose, it will wound someone. And the great poet Mutanabbi once observed in his beautiful Arabic, he said, إِذَا رَأَيْتَ نُيُوبَ اللَّيْثِ بَارِزَةً فَلَا تَظُنَّ فَيَبْتَسِمُ. That if you see the teeth of a lion, do not think it is smiling at you. A poetic way of saying, beware of misjudging danger. But tonight we honor our own aphorism, one whose pen is as sharp as his wit, and whose ability to make you rethink your entire existence in a single sentence is downright terrifying. Malam Bello once wrote, judicious use of finance is best exemplified by a squanderer who just recovered from bankruptcy. I'll read it again. Judicious use of finance is best exemplified by a squanderer who just recovered from bankruptcy. He also wrote, God takes care of a people after he has tested them with the responsibility of taking care of others. That is the power of aphorisms. They do not argue, they declare. They do not ramble, they strike. A great aphorism is like an arrow once released. It cannot be taken back. And it will either pierce the heart or be forever remembered. Bello Muhammad has given us books that are not just to be read, but to be revisited, quoted, if we are even wise, lived by. Aphorists are rare, for they must be both poets and philosophers, dreamers and realists at the same time, observers of the world and yet detached enough to critique it. They must capture a lifetime of thought in a handful of words. Bello has done just that. His books will make you pause, nod in agreement, shake your head in disagreement sometimes. And if he has really succeeded, you will close the book just to sit in deep thought for a while. And that is the highest compliment to any writer. Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate creativity, wisdom, and the boundless potential of the human mind. Creativity is not a luxury. It is a necessity, one to be nurtured, not suppressed. It shapes societies, transforms minds, and drives change. So let us read, think, and above all, let us never allow the world to convince us that creativity is anything less than a force capable of reshaping our future. It actually does that. Welcome, and enjoy the rest of the day, and I thank you for your patience listening to my very boring speech. I hope it has made some sense. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Am I going to be substituted now? Right, thank you. Welcome.
Please put your hands together for him. That was both an opening remark as well as a poetic rendition. I'm sure Prof will honor us with his presence. Thank you very much. We appreciate that wonderful welcome address. He was the one who invited me to a conference where we were trying to pick for Nigeria what English language to choose. And after 2 days, we couldn't conclude because it was difficult to pick which one, either the American English or the British English. Because in Britain, they will say extreme. In America, they will say end. But in Nigeria, they will say extreme end. In Britain, they will say knicker. In America, they will say short. But here, we will say short knicker. In Britain, they will say salon. In America, they will say barber shop. But here, we will say barbing salon. In Britain, they will say bend. In America, they will say corner. But here, we will say bending corner. In Britain, they will say so. In America, they will say therefore. But here, we will say so, therefore. In Britain, they will say still. In America, they will say yet. But here, we will say still, yet. In Britain, they will say should. In America, they will say in case. But here we will say should in case. In Britain, they will say henceforth. In America, they will say from now on. But here we will say from now henceforth. In Britain, they will say reverse. In America, they will say turn back. But here we will say reverse back. In Britain, they will say tell me the reason. In America, they will say, tell me why. But here we'll say, tell me the reason why. Please put your hands together for this. It is difficult to speak English in the presence of Prof. But today we are gathered just as individuals, not just as individuals, but architects of imagination, weavers of dreams and custodians of words that shape our creativity, that elusive spark is both our compass and our fire, a force of untamed as an ocean, a delicate as a whisper, and as boundless as the night sky. But what is the nature of creativity? It is a gift, a discipline, a wild spirit, and that chooses its own vessel. Perhaps there's all the things and more, a flicker in the dark, a melody in silence, and the answer to a question yet unasked. It is the ink that stains our fingers, the sleepless nights spent chasing the perfect phrase, the heartbeat of every unwritten story demanding to be told. As we celebrate this force that defines us as writers, we dive into a mystery, embrace the unpredictability and the honor of relentless urge to create. So let us open our minds, sharpen our pens, and step into the vast, enchanted landscape of imagination. I want to say welcome to the nature of creativity. May I say especially welcome to everyone who is here to listen to Prof, to listen to the next phase of what creativity is about. Please, ladies and gentlemen, once more ask us to put our hands together for ourselves. May I especially welcome the chairman of today's occasion, His Excellency Distinguished Senator Obasani, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, who is represented also today by his Principal Private Secretary, Professor Bello Ayuba. Please put your hands together for me. Thank you very much. We are honored to have you.
Thank you.
We also have our Royal Father of the Day, His Royal Highness, Malam Amelu Bamali CFR, who is represented by the Wakil in Raya Kasa, Alhaji Amin Yakubu. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for the honor. May I also especially appreciate Alhaji Ibrahim Bakoba Gudu Shatima. Please put your hands together for him. We have also with us the Federal Commissioner, Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. We have also the Emir. I'm sure very quickly we have all that honor, those people represented. We must apologize that we couldn't get all that we needed quickly started, but I must also add, for Abuja it's not easy. Once you miss one turn, you turn and turn, and it takes you an hour to get around where you're going. But today we are going to run through because we understand that Prof also has a lot in his plate for today. Prof, thank you very much. The fact that you are here means that you appreciate the author so much. It's the respect that you have for him. We thank you. And much more than that for what you represent, literature and the arts. Thank you very much. Please, one more time, can we put our hands together? To begin, I know we have welcome address and all of that, but we have students from Prime School, Prime Scholars, who will just do a little welcome for us, and then we'll move straight into the business of the day. Prime Scholars, are we ready? Please put your hands together for them as they get ready to come up to do this thing for us quickly. To create tent for me is one wonderful idea. Abuja has been yearning for a real and true creativity and art center, and this is an opening. I'm sure we'll be able to honor and host Prof more than once every year to have him come around and look at our people, look at our strengths, and look at the changes that we're doing. Please, one more time, clap for them as they come up.
This dog is like a baobab tree. No one person can use. See, my sister, where are you driving at? Have you heard about Unwavia village before? Yes, I have. Do you know that it emerged from Amakamu village? Wow, that's surprising. It emerged due to a dispute between its two successors, a warrior princess and a very lazy prince. I agree. No one person can embrace it all. The fool speaks while the wise listens. If only Prince Umuafia and Princess Adeze had united, Amaka would have been a more greater and prosperous community, and it is swallowed in ignorance. That's true. Hey!
Oh my God! How? Why? Why would they do this to me? How would they let her be the successor? I'm a man. I'm supposed to be the successor of my father. How would they let her be the successor of my father? No, I can't allow this. I can't. I'm a man. I'm supposed to be the real successor of this throne.
And then tell me, what would you do?
So I have been dancing.
Yes, I have.
See, Adeze, let me warn you. Don't dare put your hands in a beehive.
No matter how heavy the rain is, it cannot wash away the leopard spot. You were born a prince, but you were not born a warrior. Our people do not bow to weakness. If you want to rule, you must fight for it.
Who do you think you are?
I am warrior princess and Daisy.
And I'm the prince of this town.
A useless and worthless prince. And let me remind you, lest you forget, a roaring lion kills no game.
Adeze, they are telling me this. Adeze, come back here. Come back here.
Come on. Here, I heard you. Did you hear? I heard you. Small boy of this.
The prince that we took care of is claiming rights over the throne. When his sister has been fighting wars, he has been here gallivanting.
Thank you. The boy that the boy into our hands that we watch growing up.
Doesn't he know that a child who does not travel thinks his mother's cooking is the best?
It is true. Meanwhile, he who learns teaches. And in fact, you and I, no, the whole village knows that Princess Adeze is in that position.
It is true, my sister. He has not learned anything. A child who says his father's property means nothing will live to see another man enjoy. But let us go and do our work.
Wow. Even the palace girls know that this prince is a nonchalant and worthless prince. My dear sister, what they speak is nothing far from the truth. They watched Prince Umuafia fall from his cradle, and suddenly he thinks he's the one that's supposed to be the successor of the throne. The prince is just a cub acting like a lion. A hyena cannot smell his own stench. Now others are helping this prince identify his own problems.
Can you imagine? I who have been a warrior since birth, fighting wars, crossing rivers, and climbing mountains, only to come back here to have to fight for my throne with that
And so you need to learn from him. Seriously.
Where is that girl that been shouting up and down? Where is that girl? Where is that girl that been claiming power? Where is she? Adeze, what? Adeze, let me warn you. You have been shouting that you have climbed mountain, do this, do that. Those were in the past, Adeze. The river does not swell with yesterday.
I do not speak of my past glories, I speak of my strength. Strength you do not have.
Told you that I don't have strength. Adeze, let me warn you. A river does not go through the forest without bringing down things.
No matter how. And yet, when the roots are deep, there is no reason to fear the wind.
Who is the wind here, Adeze?
You, of course.
Adeze, you are talking to me like that.
Yes, I am.
A cloud does not know the value of its tail until it is cut off.
The lion does not turn around when a small dog barks.
Adeze, you are calling me a dog. Me, Adeze, come back here. Hey, that girl calling me a dog. Me, that girl. I must do something to her. I won't allow this. I won't allow this. So, what? You guys are disturbing me. What?
Calm down.
See me, I'm not here for me. I want to hear yourself. See, no, don't talk to me. You guys should me. I don't have anything to do with
Hear yourself.
What?
See, the axe forgets, but the tree remembers.
What do you mean by that?
The princess has once wronged us, and now we want to eliminate her. We want to take our revenge.
Yes, we are her closest friends. We know all her weaknesses. You can use to defeat her and you will become the king.
Really?
Yes, my friend.
That would be nice.
Yes.
I will love you.
Thank you.
You may take your leave. Yes. A child who is not embraced by the village is born in town to kill souls. Find a way to defeat her, to bring her down.
It is said, don't trust anyone, because your closest friend turned out to actually be your worst enemy. That's true. The prince and the princess could have worked in unity to overcome their father's throne together, and Amakamu village will be in peace and unity today. They have said it already. If you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. A tree does not make up a forest. You have said it, my sister. That's true.
They say a tree cannot stand without its roots. For without history, how can we grow towards the sky? But even the tallest baobab started as a seed. And no matter how tall a tree grows, its leaves always fall to the ground. So remember your roots, honor your land, for a river that forgets its source will soon run dry. The wisdom of the elders is like an eternal spring, because what an old man sees sitting down, a young man cannot see it standing up. But listen, my people, to the whispers of the wind. For a child who does not listen to the drums will be forced to dance to the war horn. Yet even when hardship knocks at your door, remember, no matter how dark the night is, the sun will still rise. So we rise, we stand, we walk this journey. Because if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Our unity is our strength. Our strength is our song. And when the spider webs unite, they can tie down a lion. But beware, for not all that glitters is gold. A man who chases 2 rats catches none. And he who eats with the devil must use a long spoon. So choose your path wisely in the light for a bird that forgets how to fly will soon be sprayed. But fear not, because even the lion learns from the hunt. And the sun does not forget a village just because it is small. So rise, my people, rise with wisdom, for the footprints of the ancestors as a map to the future. And the future is calling. Will you answer? Thank you. My name is Samantha Abel, and we are Prime Scholar School, Abuja.
Thank you.
Let's give them another round of applause. Students, giving us hope that there's something better for this country later. I met a child outside and asked her, I said, what would you like to be in future? She said, I'd like to be a pharmacist. And I probed further, I said, what would you like? Why did you choose pharmacy? She said, because I love farming. It's a challenge, you know. A friend of mine had called me to help him with an English class, 1 year, year 1 students. And that day, to just teach them English, I wasn't in the mood to teach, so I just told them, I said, just assume that you're in a war situation. And from your war experience, write for me a short story. I noticed everybody was writing except one guy. So I walked up to him and said, sir, why are you not writing? I told you to assume that you're in a war situation. And from your war experience, write for me a short story. He looked me straight in the eye and said, sir, I died as soon as the war started. So there's no story for you today. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking one. And from Kaduna, there's a whole lot of stories to tell. The governor embodies the spirit of determination and service. His foundation in engineering equipped him with a problem-solving mindset, a trait that will later define his approach to leadership. However, his passion for public service steered him beyond technical expertise into the dynamic world of politics, where he will leave an indelible mark. His political journey gained momentum when he was elected as senator representing Kaduna Central in 2019. A role he embraced with vigor and commitment, and in the halls of the National Assembly, his voice echoed with purpose, championing policies that prioritize economic growth, security, and social development. But for us, he became strong as a friend, as one who appreciates books, schools, and writing when he became governor in 2023. He is not just a leader, is a statesman, a bridge between the past and the future, a symbol of hope for the people of Kaduna State. His story is one of perseverance, of service, and an unwavering belief in the power of leadership to change lives. As he steers Kaduna into greater heights, his name is etched in the annals of history, a leader born with time and for just such time. Today, His Excellency, distinguished Senator Obasani, the visionary governor of Kaduna State, is represented by Professor Bello Ayuba, who will now deliver his address. Please put your hands together for him.
The chairman of this important event and members of the organizing committee, the keynote speaker, our literary icon, in the person of Professor Wale Soyinka, my mentor, my respected personality, the representative of His Royal Highness, the Emir of Zazzau, members of the First Estate of the Ring, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's still morning. Good morning. It's a privilege for me to man this podium representing His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State. I have been mandated by him due to his tight official commitment in the state. He asked me to be here this morning, having left Kano yesterday to attend the wedding party of the daughter of the Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lani Sanusi. He gave me a marching order that I must be in Abuja not later than 11 o'clock this morning to represent him at this important event. He asked me to apologize on his behalf for his inability to be with you this morning, but he assured that he will continue to be with you in spirit. So accept the apology, please. I am going to deliver his address. When I say I mean His Excellency Senator Obasani, Governor of Kaduna State. Let me first of all state how happy I am to chair this event of the unveiling of this book written by Mohammed Bello, who I understand is a mentee of Professor Wale Soyinka. We don't expect anything other than a great work from someone who has benefited from the immense experience of this literary colossus. The fact that the Universal Basic Education Commission has adopted this literary work for use in the country's public schools, it is a clear testimony of the worth of materials we are introducing to the public today. So I salute the author, Mohammed Bello, and pray that this event will serve as an inspiration to budding writers in the country to take this to greater height. I not only salute the author, but I want to enjoy other authors to take cue to learn from what this writer has done in contributing not only to the educational sector, but to the entire country at large. We are talking of creativity. Creativity is very, very important in our daily lives. Whatever we must do, we must be creative to excel. When we are talking of creativity, we are looking at those purposes. What are these purposes? To those of you in business, you are synonymous with the purpose of marketing. But we are talking of purpose of creativity. Process, product, personality, as well as when we are talking of personality, how you define yourself as a person, you have to be creative for you to understand how you are as a person. And if you have to look at creativity generally, it has to do with the way of doing things. You have to be unique, become outstanding. This is what this. So we want to commend you for this effort in trying to be creative. And creativity has to do with the way you compete. We compete as individuals, and we compete from different dimensions. This is the more reason why, from the philosophical perspective, we look at the nature of creativity. And I want to believe that Professor Wale Soyinka, as the keynote speaker, is coming out to do justice to this aspect. So I want to once again thank you for the gesture of making me the chairperson of an important occasion such as this, which is the unveiling of the literary philosophy we witnessed. I'm sure that we are all living here more informed, more knowledgeable, as well as more curious about creativity. Thank you for the opportunity given to us. Thank you for listening to the master of creative thinking himself. If the literary giant and the audience will permit me to so declare. So I want to thank you very much for this opportunity. Once again, thank you and God bless you.
Please let's put our hands together for him. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're honored to have you, and I'm sure that when it's time to do the needful, what the governor will have done, he will do exactly. Please clap for him. May I especially appreciate the reviewer of these books who will be coming up a little later. The former director in the ministry, in the federal ministry, is also former president of the Association of Nigerian Authors, Malam Denja Abdullahi. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much. We are honored to have you. We have also with us the Managing Director of Greenborn Finance Limited. We want to especially appreciate him, who, of course, at some point, be talking to us, helping us to champion the unveiling of the books, Mr. Ni Adesho. Please put your hands together for me. Thank you, sir. We also have with us here the Executive Chairman, FMS Construction Limited, Abuja, Udume Raye Efe Michael. Please put your hands together for him. Also here is an engineering expert and commercial architect, Airbus SAS. There's so much in his name, but let's welcome Oluwale and Jalu. Thank you very much. There's a name here that resonates with every writer, particularly for his glorious position at The Guardian and for helping to preserve the Black African arts. Let's welcome Mr. German and Nicolako. Please put your hands together. Thank you very much. We are honored to have you. Thank you. This hall may not be big, but it's full of giants in every sphere. Chairman, we have also Transact Channels Limited, Alhaji Shoaibu Bello. Please put your hands together for me. Also with us, Alhaji, we have Hayatuddin Sani, MD, Diwa Press Limited. Thank you very much for the honor. We are happy to have you. We have also the Shetima Lupe, Alhaji Bello, Alhaji Baku Shetima. Please put your hands together for me. MD National Nigeria Limited, Badamosi Abdurazak Lawal is also here. And we have Usman Husseini Darazo, who's the GGM. HQ, I'm not sure that's very clear, but we understand your position and we appreciate you for coming. Please put your hands together for him. We have from the Army Headquarters, Brigadier General Bello Abdul Rashid. Thank you for the honor. And Brigadier General Ibrahim Bello. Please clap for them. You know, I tried to join the Army before without success. After 3 attempts at writing the NMS exams, I decided to join the Boy Scouts. Needed to wear khaki at least in some form, so I'm a retired Boy Scout. Well, thank you for the honor. We appreciate you for coming through. The next person I'm about to invite is a royal father. And I choose the word royal father because at some point I went to the East and I referred to a royal father as a traditional ruler. I didn't know he was a former classroom teacher. By the time he collected the mic and he said, "My son, if I am a ruler, then you are either a sharpener or a cleaner." I knew he was talking classroom work, so I avoided the word traditional ruler. But we are honored to have with us Zaria and Zawzo generally have been known for knowledge, the pursuit of knowledge, the seeking of knowledge. And in modern terms, we've seen universities, we've also seen polytechnics, and in fact, Zaria should be referred to as the center of modern knowledge and modern education in Nigeria, if not in the entire West African region. But so today, we have the honor of having our royal father for the day, His Royal Highness, Malam Ahmed Nuhu Baba, the CFR, represented by Alhaji Aminu Yakubu Wangwe, the Wakili Raya Kasa, to do the honors of speaking on behalf of our royal father. Please put your hands together for him. Please can we clap for him, please? His job majorly is to make sure that this nation is secure and safe, and is doing that for us.
Represented by one of our junior brothers, Professor. Our father, Professor Wale Sheikh, who is a sage, I can say, not only in Nigeria, but in the whole of Africa. As you have heard, I'm here to represent His Highness the Emir Zazzau, who wanted to be here, but in view of an occasion coming up in Kaduna, which he must be there too, and he can't do it himself. That's why early morning he sent a message that I should represent him, for which myself too, I was traveling somewhere. But we have to be here to honor this invitation. Therefore, what I will say is a royal message. It will be different from all your messages, I'm sure. Number one, these are our children. For us who knows Bello family, that's Alhaji Bello Iman. We know they are highly industrious and highly creative. For those of us that are above 60 years, at least we know Alhaji Bello Iman. We know what he has done in Zaria in terms of commercial activity. We know him because we school with some of his children. He's a highly disciplined person. And we know what his children did in Zaria in the early 70s. Someone like Alhaji Bello, I think he was the first person who brought Volkswagen to Zaria, Volkswagen company. Peugeot and so many vehicles. He brought the showroom in Zaria. Therefore, Bello family is a well-known family that has been accepted in the Zazzau Emirate as prominent family. Therefore, I'm not surprised also, according to His Highness, he says to see Bello Alimi, the father of this boy, who too has taken from his own father, Bello Alimi, as a community man who has contributed immensely in terms of education, more especially Zeda. Your contributions are acknowledged. And therefore, we are not surprised for you to have this boy In fact, I've not seen the boy. Why is he? Let me see. You are? Yes. Come here. So that you hear the royal message properly. We're not surprised from your grandfather and your father what they have done, and for you to do this. What His Royal Highness is asking you to do is to do more, and also is blessing you that God will lead you. We want our children always to try to have mentors like Professor. I'm surprised when I came here and saw him, because I have never seen him close. Not today. Somebody who is 91 years old and looking younger than his age, and looking strong, not even holding any stick. We that are 60-something years, we have started holding sticks. His Highness is thanking you, Prof, for honoring our invitation, because this you have done to us. These are our children. Whoever will do anything for them, he has done it for us. His Highness is wishing you well and praying that God will take everybody back home safely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please can we put our hands together for him to come. Well, a few years ago, between 1997 and 98, I was a reporter in Katsina, and the Katsina State Assembly was sitting in Hausa, and I discovered that it was very beautiful for the people to speak their hearts out in their local languages, and I thought it was necessary. And I advocated that we should speak more of our local languages, because the English language, much more than confusing, is a little problematic for me. For instance, there's no egg in the eggplant, there's no ham in the hamburger, and neither pine or apple in the pineapple. English muffins were not invented in England, and French fries were not invented in France. If writers write, how come fingers don't think? If the plural of tooth is teeth, shouldn't the plural of phone booth be phone beef? If teachers taught, why didn't preachers brought? Why do people recite at the play and play at the recital? We park on driveways and we drive on parkways. When the stars are out, they are visible, but when the lights are out, they are invincible. If vegetarians eat vegetables, what do humanitarians eat? Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my job is to bring for us our keynote speaker. But looking at him, he represents everything and anything that you can think of with words and literature. In the grand tapestry of the global literature, a few names shine brightly as his. He's a master of words, a custodian of culture, and a fearless voice against oppression. He's more than a writer. He's a force of nature, a living legend whose ink has shaped the consciousness of generations. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to bring one up. Well, just before we bring up our keynote speaker, I've been told that we have a short presentation that the Prof needs to see before he speaks. Probably it will influence or affect what he has changed. I know that it's not easy to change his paper anyway. But may I also specially welcome my former Minister of State for Works, Malam Sule Hassan. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much. We have also SA to the Federal Minister of Livestock Development, Dr. Gidado Hassan. Please put your hands together for him. We have also former Nigerian Chief Veterinary Officer, Dr. Gideon is with us here. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you. I actually wonder what it is like to be a veterinarian. It's easy, for instance, if you're tricking dogs or chickens. If somebody takes you to his house and says it's an exotic building, and they say, for instance, you have 2 lions in there and they are sick and sleepy, I don't know how you manage to want to go and give them injections. I'm sure Dr. Gideon will understand. Please put your hands together for him. We have also Alhaji Suleiman Umar with us. Please put your hands together for him. Professor Emmanuel Shorola is also with us, and Abdul Rahman Kiwa also with us. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for them. So before I take the citation of Prof, let's listen to the students as they do their presentation. Please put your hands together for them.
My name is Samantha Abel Egeber.
My name is Aisha Jayola.
And we are students of Prime Scholar School, Abuja. We are honored to have in our midst today a renowned playwright, poet, novelist, and actor.
One of Africa's greatest playwrights and one of the world's most important dramatists.
Born on 13th July 1934, and so is 90, going on 91.
He was awarded the 1986 Nobel Prize in Literature and recently had the National Theatre in Igonu, Lagos, renamed after him.
Ladies and gentlemen, join us with a standing and clapping ovation as we welcome Professor Wale Soyinka.
Your Royal Highnesses, Senators, members of the House of Representatives, in short, the heart of the nation, as represented by all who are here, and most especially the youth, for whom I believe that this event really has been organized, and to whom really the product gatherings like this belong. They'll be shaped by how we shape the principles behind this event, this moment, this initiative. And so I always make it a point of duty to recognize that word, to recognize the existence. Thank you so much, by the way, for your performance. I appreciate it enormously, as I'm sure does everyone here. Let me quickly say that I don't know about this keynote speaker business. Keynote remarks are casual. Nobody told me that I was a keynote speaker today, and I will not pretend to be one. What I intend to do here, because the issue really, the heart of this gathering, is this phenomenon, human phenomenon that has made us what we are, and that is creativity. Over and above all other living creatures, creativity. Human beings are not alone in being creative, by the way. It's important for me to remind you about that. If you go into the woods, for instance, and you look at some nests in the trees, you are astonished at the aesthetics behind what have been produced by these little things with wings and with the claws and with beaks. When I was young, I used to get these nests and actually put them next to my bed. I just loved looking at these nests and marveling at this innate propensity of those living creatures whom we think are inferior. Always remember, it's not just human beings, but there's a distinction about the creativity of human beings. at least that are apparent to us, we can articulate the principles behind what we do. You can go into experiences of creativity, as some have done today, all the way from antiquity. And when I say antiquity, I'm not thinking about the so-called classical antiquity. I'm talking about our antiquity, the creativity behind what we have become today, producing and thinking and articulating creatures. So what I'll do is just use myself as a small example of how creativity works, has worked for me as a writer. And I will just narrate one single episode. I picked on it simply because I recently arrived from Sheffield in England, where one of my plays was being produced. So that's fresh in my mind. I could use any example from other authors and so on. But I believe that you invited me here because you're curious to know what made me the kind of writer I proved. I was a fellow. The play I'm going to talk about is Death and the King's Horseman. Might be familiar to some of you. I was a fellow at Churchill College in Cambridge. You see, the approaches differ so much. So please don't think that this is the only way inspiration comes. I use this example only because it's precious in my mind. So there was I, fellow at Churchill College. And each morning I would get up and go down to the cafe to shoot down my daily fix known as espresso coffee. Very inspiring, espresso coffee. Not the watery thing they drink in America. I'm talking about concentrated stuff. Gives you multi-mega charges, and you think you're a great thinker after you've had it. So I'm going ritually to my coffee place, and going downstairs is a bust of a famous Englishman whom we all know vicariously, simply because he was the epitome of British imperialism, colonialism. You know, Churchill, Winston Churchill, what we have, we hold. And it's always represented, it always represented for me, that aspect of arrogance of European culture, history, especially in their outlook towards their captives. Let me use that word, their captives, their colonials. So there was this representative, and each morning I had to see that bust at the end of the stairs. And each morning I looked around. Nobody was watching, and instantly, let me make sure, I haven't got my glasses. No, don't go away. You don't pick up the microphone. No, all right, okay. So I felt an overwhelming urge to push, give it a little push when nobody was looking, and see that head smashed to smithereens on the floor. Every morning I resisted that urge. Then, one day, I remembered a story from our history here in Nigeria, the Oyo Empire. And there's a story about the king's horseman who, whenever he was sort of companion, life companion of the king. And the tradition then was that if the king died, when the king died, since he'd been his lifelong companion, he was supposed to ritually, not kill himself really, but simply die to accompany his royal friend. I wanted to write a play about it. I wanted to very much, once I learned about this history. Because it raised the issue, what is obligation? What is tradition? Is tradition static? Do we keep to something simply because it was a tradition? Is life itself static or dynamic? And then the issues of values. Why is it that created that tradition, and do we have a right to question it or not? So, from the moment I knew that, it set up in my mind a series of questions. Examination of worldview, life principles, spirituality. Before I could get to work on it, however, a brilliant dramatist laid down through Ladipo and encountered that story also and written a beautiful play about it, titled Obawaja. Very successful play. So as far as I was concerned, that was the end of the matter. The story had been told, been dramatized, it had traveled all over the world, so I turned to other themes. However, when I was in Churchill College, going down, and in that story I should have mentioned that the British colonial forces intervened at the critical moment when the King's Horseman was supposed to ritually just go to the other world, the ancestral world. And so I always wondered about the right of the British to interfere in any way. And yet at the same time, I knew that there was something unacceptable about that kind of relationship between any human being and another. So it was something agitating me for a long time. Finally, looking at that bust every day, it just made it impossible for me to concentrate even on my teaching. And I knew I had to give my own version of that. Now, that play didn't begin gestating when I got to Churchill College. No, it had been there, it had sat, it had been reading ideas and so on. Finally, I couldn't help it any longer. So instead of committing iconoclasm, which was trying to destroy a symbol, I decided to write my own play, which is proved to be one of the most successful plays I've ever written. But the important thing, and that's what I want to address to the youth, the important thing is that writing that play did not begin when I sat down to write it. No, obviously it had been there, producing itself in the subconscious, and finally it was ready to be produced. Many people would not believe that I wrote that play in 2.5 days, literally round the clock. That is the nature of creativity. Always respond to it, not necessarily immediately. And don't worry if you wanted to write a play and it just didn't come out at that particular time. Go and do other things. Go and play soccer if you like. Go and listen to music. Go and see your friends. Have a party. Join a construction gang. Occupy themselves with community activity, such as assisting, building, anything whatsoever. It has a tinge of creativity in it. You'll be astonished one day. It's ready. It's all inside, and it comes out in a burst. Now, that is what I call one of the sort of mega expressions of creativity. There are others, minuscule. Very small, you don't even notice it at the time. The writer Harold Pinter explained his own version of the creative principle. And there's a contrast to my own. He was always, anytime he was walking along the street, and a phrase, maybe a totally unknown person, maybe two people just walking along, and he overhears a phrase, and it sticks in his mind. And he goes home. He doesn't know the rest of the story, why that phrase was uttered by one of these. So he goes home and he says, I wonder what created a particular phrase. It could just be, and he gave an example like, I couldn't see the leaves flying through the window. And then you say, what sort of homestead is that? What really was it that made it so important? That phrase leapt out from their conversation. And from there, his own play emerges. Very likely, no relation at all to what produced that phrase in the first place. But that was his moment, the trigger towards that creative revelation. And it's examples like this which made me interested in the capture of the wise sayings of the Bible, which this our young man thought to put together. Marvelous exercises for the would-be creative person, either through writing compositions about those apparitions, or simply even doing creative work that will lead to the wisdom which is expressed in that succinct expression. Look at all those little clips which have been gathered together in that small teachers especially. The useful things in there which can trigger up the most magnificent literary productivity in youth, who, by the way, are gifted with the most unbelievable powers of imagination. Those powers of imagination should be triggered alive by constant references to the wisdom of others. It's only, again, one of 100 ways in which creativity takes place. So don't belabor the gift. Let it emerge in its own right. When it's ready, you'll be astonished. And it can be a musical phrase. It can be observation of a unique relationship between people, and then you want to explore how we came to have that kind of relationship. It's all around you. Inspiration is not mysterious. Sometimes it's very trivial, very mundane. It's a question of just opening your mind to take up what others are wanting. So I recommend this pamphlet to you, teachers, students, would-be creative people, and always remember that there's a link between, people tend to separate the literary arts, painting, sculpting. The thing is different from technological savvy. Both come from the same line of creativity. The motor vehicle, the discovery of solar energy, name it what you will. Technology itself is one of the most marvelous creative processes, triggers that are always available all around. I always call myself, in fact, a field mechanic, simply because I'm so fascinated by technology, mechanical things. What they get to think about it. How did this come about? But a creative mind is at work. Trivial things, even a toothpick itself. When somebody sits down, says, see a way of picking my teeth after I've eaten some normal. And that way again, that toothpick lead something more magnificent. All of us have embedded in us the creative spark. Teachers, please encourage pupils. They ask questions, be patient with them. You don't know the vast amount of potential which is behind that little question. I used to be beaten for being too imaginative when I was a child, because that imagination led to questions. Adults were sometimes very, very impatient. I plead with you, please. Give yourselves to these youths, place before them various available triggers, encourage that utilization of that magnificent faculty that we have over and above the generality of the living species. Thank you very much for listening to me, and a good applause.
If your hands are not sore, can you put them together some more for Prof? And we will speak of very things as though they were just small and simple, but they are messages from the heart. Thank you very much, Prof, for always doing these beautiful things. Thank you. You know, last year I was invited to come to Eko Hotel to MC an event. By the time I got there, I discovered that I had not cut my hair. So I went to the salon, or to the barber shop, as it were, to cut my hair. I wish I had the courage to carry my hair long enough like Prof will do. But by the time I got there, they told me my hair to cut it was 20,000. And I said, if you cut it, it won't grow up again. He said, no, you will just manage after a few days. I thought my problem was the worst. There was a bald-headed man who was seated next to me. And he came. When it was his turn, he said, well, I'm bald-headed, so my own will be about 5,000. See, this young man's own is 20,000. They said, no, sir. Say your own is 50,000. And the man said, why? I am bald-headed. He said, yes, sir. The problem is that with your case, we have to search for the hair first before we are able to cut the hair. So that's a bigger burden on us as barbers. But distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is something we try to put together. Somebody wrote and said, we were in the season of Anami in 1973. And then we were listening to English. We were reading poetry by some great Nigerians, and we were having problems understanding them. And then one man gave us a book titled The Interpreters. And when we were asking where did this come from, the world answered us that this was from the Chronicles from the land of the happiest people on earth. And it was one season. It was cold, there was breeze, and Shoyinka told us it's the Harmattan haze of the African spring. When we tried and wondered who was behind this, we went to court and somebody was on trial. It was the trials of Nigeria. After some time, we discovered that we were moving and trying to go bury a man. Who did we ask? We didn't know his name. A little girl told us that the man died. It was Akin, the years of childhood, and we didn't name the child. But she told us quickly that if you must catch up with those who will go for this burial, you must set forth at dawn. And we said, why? He said, this is Africa, Alakpata of Akpata. It is the climate of fear. And we waited for Shoyinka to speak. And he spoke only of power and freedom in the name of Shakespeare. Please put your hands together for me. Thank you very much, Prof, for helping us to understand very easily. That's why, little wonder, on the occasion of your 90th birthday, Nigeria decided to honor you through President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by naming the National Theatre in Kamu after you. I think that was something fitting. We should do more. Every zone, every state should pick something and name after you because of what you've done. Thank you very much for this gesture, for coming here today to speak to us, even though it was a small hall, and to honor one young man. I think that's something we want to thank you for. And so, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the next item very quickly will be to talk about books. Well, it's the launch of a creative center, but he has some books, and Denja Abdullahi has the honor of actually reading them after some time to put them together. But Denja himself is a dedicated educator. He has taught English and literature at various levels in the country, shaping minds and nurturing us on how to love storytelling. His passion for language extends beyond the classroom into the media. But as a writer, poet and playwright and theater director, his artistry breathes life into words, and many, many times he has taken Professor Wole Soyinka's books and given them us as biscuits, chips, and slices for us to understand in a simpler form. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, his leadership within the literary world reached pinnacle when he served as president of the Association of Nigerian Authors, championing the growth and visibility of Nigerian literature. He has facilitated workshops on implementation in the Nigerian and played a key role in workshop of ratification in Ghana. His professional experience extends to Algeria, Ghana, and his works in Nigeria, reinforcing his commitment to cross-cultural dialogue and development. He only recently was a director at the Federal Ministry of Culture. But ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome a literary force whose influence spans the realm of education, journalism and poetry, theater and cultural administration, a distinguished scholar and one who takes his time to teach us about literature. He will tell us about these books and probably provoke us to the point where we want to write, but much more importantly for me as the MC of this occasion, he should provoke you to buy these books. Let's welcome Malam Denja Abdullahi.
Thank you.
Thank you, the MC. I will start by saying my greetings to the Chairman of Education, His Excellency the Governor of Kaduna State, ably represented here by the professor that spoke to us earlier on. His Royal Highness, the Emir of Zazzau, ably represented by one of his councillors, who gave us royal blessing, and my literary father here, the pathfinder, the sage, literary sage, and someone who has been a beacon of hope for the literary world, to the Nigerian society, to the world at large, someone who is always evergreen, whose works are always evergreen. Whenever you go to them, you see new things, you see something that relates to humanity, and someone that has a passion for being where you're not expected to be. His appearance today may be a surprise to many of you. But Professor Olishinka has one thing. He recognized the littlest person that is great. You'll be surprised. Somebody very young, who you think is not a calculator, will invite Prof to a literary event, you will see him there. It's remarkable for that. Big men, people that you think will call him and come to the occasion, they will call him, he won't come, he won't go there. So it goes to where the churches that the people there are doing what is good to encourage and to mentor the young. I have had decades of relationship with him, textually, putting up his play on stage. Also, in several events, the biggest event that we had last closely was when we celebrated 20 years of winning of the Nobel Prize for Literature in Ife, 2006. We were here for 3 days. Sir, it's good to go. I'm honored to be speaking after you've left this podium. I know it's about to be for the airport, so I will just go through this. You may not wait to see it to the end, but you will hear the copies with German and Nikulabu. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen that are here today, I titled this my short review, Wisdom from the Mouth and the Pen of the Young. When the author got in touch with me a little about a week ago, handed to me the books to be unveiled today, which are both about axioms and aphorism. A thought crossed my mind. Given his relatively young age and unheralded personality, the question in my mind then was, how can this fellow pen books supposedly about wisdom, which should naturally come after decades of hard-earned experience and monumental achievement in a given area of life? This questioning attitude is born out of the general public perception in our democratic society that wisdom is often associated with the aged, hoary-headed or bearded individuals. I will be at ease if a book of axiom and aphorism comes from Professor Olishinka and distinguished members of this front row, because I know it has to flow from experience. Before you start magistrally delivering axiom and aphorism and go, you must have had a lot of experience, you must have studied hard, like Prof. To perceive the author and his book at first glance, contrary to this expectation, was difficult because of the subject matter of his undertaking. Both books delve into the domains of axiom, which can be simply defined as a rule or principle most people believe to be true, and aphorism, which is a short, clever saying, which is intended to express a general truth. My question then was, who is Mohammed Bello? The Royal Highness answered some part of that question. Because me, I've never met him. I said, who are you to write this kind of book? Is he Oscar Wilde, that enigmatic writer and witty philosopher, famous for many axioms and aphorisms, of which one is experience is the name everyone gives to their mistakes? Is Mohammed Bello a descendant of Usman Danfodio, noted for one of his many sayings, conscience is an open wound, only truth can heal it? Is Mohammed Bello a follower of Martin Luther King, the non-violent advocate of change, who posted out eternal truth? Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Or is Bello, Mohammed Bello a disciple of our own WS, who magisterially declares in his writing that, I quote, justice is the first condition of humanity. When you mention that statement, it's only one person that has said it, our own WSA. And the other one you also associate with him is, I quote, it may not be exact, the man dies in all who keep silent in the face of tyranny. So, who is Mohammed Bello? Is he a writer, a thinker, activist, or a philosopher? I put aside my doubt, read more about the author, read closely the two books, and came to the following submissions and conclusions. Bello M. Mohammed, the founder of CreatTent, a creative arts center for nurturing young creatives, is old enough, well educated at home and abroad, and I believe widely read enough and experienced to begin to tread the path of great thinkers and philosophers, even as a relatively young person. Deeper reading and studying will show that those hoary-headed and long-bearded philosophers who often take religion in quoting embody their thought and wise saying that the world later has shared with them during their young and youthful days. Some of the witty sayings that you now associated, that is not been associated with Prof. If you study his growth, he did most of those things as a young person. You must set for that done. One of the things that creatives need to know today is that your setting forth has to start from the very beginning. Like Prof said, you may carry a story in your mind for 10, 15 years as a young person, and you eventually write it one day, which means you don't need to be there in age before you can be profound. Those thoughts and wise sayings got to us many years after many through the device of writing. Alas, many of the similar wise sayings and philosophical outlook on life by our own ancestors got lost in the maze of orality. And today, the vestiges are found only in the anonymity of proverbs and folklores. Therefore, today, the word privileges Socrates over Oromila, and the other worldly poetry of Jalaluddin Rumi over that of Sheikh Abdullah ibn Fodio. Bello's double offering should therefore be viewed as a determined and intentional undertaking of the mind given to philosophical observation and musing, later on expressed in inventive axioms and aphorisms. The first book, entitled Small World, Golden Word, contained 234 axioms and aphorisms about different states of man's existential experiences. The author declares from the onset in the introduction that he is not out to prescribe any rule or principle for anyone, but to let out his personal observation on various matters, in tune with the Arabic proverb which says, the best speech is short and clear. Here are a few examples from the first book. Peace, I quote it now, peace is often distorted when freedom is pursued aggressively. Yet without peace, there is no freedom. The second one, getting divorced shortly after a very elaborate wedding is itself an elaborate shame. Then there's one again. For every pleasure, there is sacrifice. Sadly, not every pleasure is worth the sacrifice. There are many in the book which are very delightful. You need to see it. These are many more nuggets of wisdom contained in the book of about 65 readable pages. Invite one to contemplate the process of conception of those axioms and aphorisms and hazard the intended purpose of the book itself. Do people live their life by the books? Yes, I'm asking. Do people live their life by the books? There are many sacred texts from each of the world major Orthodox and Orthodox religions containing thousands of axioms and aphorisms. Have the adherents of those religions lived their life according to those texts, and is the world today in a better place? There are a million texts from writers, thinkers, philosophers, scholars, intellectuals, and mystics, from which can be harvested numerous axioms and aphorisms and on every conceivable subject matter affecting man. But is our world peaceful, contented, just, and perfect in any way? These are things we should pull upon. We have so many books. Okay. We have so many books all over the place. So many sacred texts. Are we living by those texts? Do we just read and get the text out of our mind? For any piece of book to make any impact on us, we must read and live it. That is what we are saying. Not to even talk of today when people hardly even read. Now, the probable negative answer to the foregoing essential questions obviously do not deter you from quarrying deeper into an intentional thinker and philosopher. Quarrying deeper into being an intentional thinker and philosopher, as shown in the second book entitled Context and Understanding, 377 axioms and aphorisms. I will give you just 2 examples so that we'll round up. One, there says, knowledge with bad character is not power, but knowledge with good character is superpower. Now, this second book of his contains a lot of quotes about creativity, which are the ones that are vested here. Let me just give you about 2 of them. It says one, creativity thrives only where freedom is served. You see now. Then the other one, many artists are taught to be deep when they are actually deeply disturbed. Balance is important in making good art. Then the last one, this is very fanciful. It says the education sector may well be more essential than agriculture, but there are people who may still need to be taught how to eat, and that is service education. Then the last one, a good student learns from a teacher. A curious one learn how to keep learning without a teacher. Now, finally, I have a piece of advice for him. I don't see it as very practicable for you to start writing with axioms and the rest of them. You know, what you should rather do is to write extensively. Write non-fiction, fiction pieces, write, just keep writing. Then one day, somebody will invest in, or from your writing, the notable quotes, the aphorisms, the axioms that are important will come from it. The ones I've just quoted from Professor Wolfgang, he didn't start writing by just saying, what do you call it? He didn't just start his writing by just writing justice is the first condition of humanity. That thing is picked from a volume of other things he has written. You pick it out. So if as a writer, if you review what you've written, you read again, some things will strike you from what you have written. You can harvest them. So just write, just keep writing. From the volume of what you've written, we'll pick out axioms, idioms, and the rest of them. I will end this review. No problem, don't worry. So that is my advice for him. I will end this review by going back to the question I asked earlier. Do people live their life by the book? The world will be a better place if they do after reading. And if they do get to read at all, it was a Marxist philosopher who was said to have exclaimed, I quote him, philosophers have done a good job of interpreting the world. It is humanity's ever-present duty now to change it. Mohamed Bello has made a modest attempt with his 2 books of axioms and aphorisms to interpret society in his own way within its given context. It is left for those of us who will read him to restructure our lives alongside the insightful knowledge and experience he has offered. Thank you very much and God bless you.
So sorry, sir. Please, we apologize that we have to hurry you because of time, because we need to quickly allow the author to speak, and then we can allow you to run off. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I invite, I believe that we are taking that message quickly. Well, I've been told that the prof needs to leave because he has a flight to catch for 12, and we understand so much for him. He has been with us and he has done a speech, but we thank him also. Please, can we appreciate him also? We really wish Prof was here to listen to his protege, but someone had said that William Shakespeare, who said, anyone running around looking for scissors in order to cut a packet of Indomie is not hungry. It was Professor Wole Soyinka who said that anybody who can pick a piece of meat or more from pepper soup and cut it without closing his eyes cannot be trusted. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are hoping that the author will be with Prof. and just tell him thank you before we bring him back. But the author for us is a good man. In the heart of every great visionary lies unyielding fire, a passion that refuses to be dimmed by circumstances or conformity. Our author today is one of such visionary people, is a maestro of imagination and a founder of the CreatTent, a sanctuary where young creatives will find out not only their voices but also the courage to write and to influence the world. Of course, he was born with an insatiable curiosity and a boundless love for artistic expression. His journey into the world of creativity was not merely a choice, it was a destiny, unfolding with every stroke of the pen, every color of the canvas, and every idea that dared to defy convention. He understood early on the raw talent and the uncut gem needed refinement and guidance, a right environment to truly shine. And so, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, CreatTent was born not just as a creative arts center, but as a movement, a renaissance of innovation, and a home of dreamers who refuse to be ordinary. Under his stewardship, CreatTent will become one of the spaces, a living space, built in entirely of artistry. Here, he will paint minds, and filmmakers will build stories that linger into the soul, and performers will break the barriers of reality. It will be a heaven where passion will meet purpose, where young minds are not only taught but empowered to challenge and to create and to leave their mark on the world. His legacy is not written in ink, but also one that countless lives has touched. And the artists who will rise from CreatTent will embrace crying and carrying forward their dream, one masterpiece at a time. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think for daring to think that Abuja, particularly the heart of the city, requires a creativity center, I think we deserve an applause for this young man. Can we put our hands together for him? So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, he's our author, he's our friend. It's good that we should hear from him as one who has talked about a center that requires people. Because art in itself requires preservation, and this center will be a bridge both for the future and for the past. This Bello is our man, and let's appreciate him as he comes over to say a few words.
Thank you very much for this wonderful and indeed wonderful and beautiful gathering, and for your esteemed attendance. I can't be any more thankful. I'm deeply grateful. I wish our Prof didn't have to catch a flight, but Mr. Malam Denja Abdullahi, Prof said I should sue you for taking too much time while reviewing the books, because you are the one who did not let him sit and listen to me. So my lawyer is waiting for you. This is from the poor courtesy of a son to speak in the presence of his father, and for a student to teach in the presence of his teacher. And I have more than one father here gathered, and even many more teachers. But I am grateful to Alhaji Sani Abbas. He has given me the permission to go ahead. But before I go ahead, I would just like to take a minute or two to remember my late mother and my late brother. Dauda and I were my mother's only surviving children. She lost the other kids in childhood. After making it to adulthood, we lost Dauda. And this is a very emotional moment for me because each time my father speaks to me about his family and so many other things, I try to remind him of my predicament. But I thought just not having a sibling from the same mother was bad enough until I lost my mother. And I wish she was here because of how much she prayed for me and sacrificed her meager resources just to see me right and to see me do whatever I wanted to do. But I pray and I believe strongly that they are in a better place. Now, this event is more than just about writing or about creativity. I think it's about parenting, it's about culture, it's about vision, and indeed, it's about the economy. I always joke with my friends, I tell them that there's only two pathways to success that I have seen in our society. There's the 6334, NYSC and get a job. And then there's the inheritance. So every other pathway of opportunity and success is not explored. And that's why we have too many job applicants without jobs, and even many more underpaid workers. And of course that has led to frustration in the society, frustration in the family, and even many more social problems. Now, we all just celebrated Professor Shoyinka, who just made a joke about him being a failed mechanic. But he has written tremendously about the pains he had to endure as a writer, and eventually the first African Nobel laureate. The idea behind founding CreatTent is to confirm to families and indeed parents who perhaps wish their children well, but just don't realize that prayers are answered differently. There's many more pathways and many different pathways to opportunity and success. I remember, in the words of Spike Lee, the African-American movie director and poet, he said, parents are known to kill more dreams than anyone else because they don't intentionally do so. They do so because they think they know better than their children and because they have more experience. So anything that doesn't suit their own experience is bound to fail. Well, I guess now we know it's not going to fail. And I have been approached by many parents and many more young creatives from within and without the country. And each time I try to mentor, or at least give a sense of direction, I notice that there's that misunderstanding of what essentially creativity is. I'll try to say this in a few words. Creativity is like a marble cake, multi-layered. There's the creative gift, there's the creative business, then there's the creative economy. We as creatives have to love the first, the art, And then we have to learn the business so we can outsmart the industry. Many parents, especially in our part of the world, and in this part of the country specifically, do not realize that the economy of creativity is almost like a secret. Once you know it, everything else falls in line. And I'm grateful again to Professor Shoyinka for saying in summary, let the river run its course. To be endowed with creativity in a family is indeed a gift like no other, except when the direction is thwarted, usually due to misunderstanding. I would like to wrap it up by saying that CreatTent is here to enlighten, inform, educate anyone, from parents to friends to other family members, neighbors, friends, colleagues at work, about what creativity is about and the tremendous opportunities abound in creativity. And also to serve as a hub for children who have been tested. I say tested because, like the great novelist Ursula Le Guin said, that the creative adult is the child that survived. It's a tough journey to be creative in a non-creative environment. So, children who have been tested with the gift of creativity will find a home at CreatTent, because our founding purpose is to see creatives thrive and to demonstrate that Professor Shoyinka is not going to walk alone. He just said to me when he was hopping in his vehicle that go and suffer like I have been suffering, because people were overwhelming him with attention. So he said to me, go and suffer like I have been suffering. What that means is the loneliness that comes with the creative gift and the pain of being misunderstood throughout your life, I guess, is the painful reward of creativity. But we are determined at CreatTent to make this easier for those who are coming after us. Once again, I am immensely grateful to my parents, uncles, father figures, mothers, grandmothers, friends, other family members for attending this event, and we plan and hope to do many more similar events in the future. Thank you very much.
That was indeed a presidential speech. Can we put our hands together for him? A few times he will call me and call me the Minister of Information and Communication, and I call him the President, because what I told him, I said, if you become President, please don't give me Ministry of Information. Please, can you give me finance or works? I don't want to be explaining the money other people spend. Let me spend money, let other people explain my own spending too. Don't give me Minister of Information, then you have only NTA and FRCM for me to work with. No money. But distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to him, you understand he's a very fine gentleman. He's deep. He speaks, but even before he speaks, he thinks very deeply. And his message is usually concise. Please put your hands together for him. I also especially appreciate the immediate past commissioner for Public Complaints Commission. It's difficult to describe him as past, but I know that he's still there, probably opening room for better things to come. Honorable Danhatu Ezekiel Musa, JP, FCIA. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much. When he was Public Complaints Commissioner, we did a lot of work with him, particularly giving voice to the people in the FCT. Thank you. I know that a few years ago, one young man approached me that he wanted to launch his book, and he said he needed a loan. I said, you need loan to launch a book? He said, yes. I said, okay, what kind of bank are you looking for? He said, sir, I'm looking for a bank that will give me a loan and leave me alone. I said, there's no bank like that. The next item, very quickly, will be, of course, the unveiling. But this is how it will take. I'll invite our special guest and the one in charge of the unveiling. He will do a speech here, and then the rest of us will join him. He will lead us to that point where we'll unveil, and eventually we will talk about how we can get the books sold. Now, let me inform us that this event is not really about sales, but it's about commitment to the future. The first time I wrote my first book, I printed 10,000 copies. I didn't know that. That time I was living in one room. By the time I finished the launching, I sold like 10 copies of the book. The remaining copies, when we took them home, I discovered that my one room has turned to half room. Because the books were in half, and me, I was occupying half. But this man is not selling books. He's imparting on us beautiful ideas, and it's giving us an opportunity to be part of a creative center. For me, that is the beauty of it. Every young person in Abuja will have the opportunity to go somewhere, to sit down in an atmosphere of education, to listen, to think, to write, and to sell their ideas to the world. That's what we have been a part of. And for me, that is what we are selling to do, not just books. So when you're launching this book, think about, I'm not taking a few pages for a few 100,000. I'm putting so much. So if you are written a check, I think you should share it now and think again. I'm looking at Kaduna because I know Kaduna will tell me, please, Ben, how much do you need to run this center? So it's just 10 million a month. Hello, please, can you clap for Kaduna? Because something is happening. And I also know that our chief launcher and our friends will be here. For me, this is just the beauty of it. This audience is just beautiful enough, courageous enough to say, let's take this thing to the next level. There are people who are doing writers' residencies in other parts of the country. But who says the CreatTent cannot do a writer's residency in Abuja? But we have beautiful writers come from other places, spend 2 weeks without any problem, sit down and just read and write. Even politicians can come out and write their stories. I welcome all the politicians here, please. Can we clap for them? Just before Trump became president, some politicians were going for a meeting in the US, and they were in a bus. They fell into a ditch in a man's farm. And the man walked up to them and looked at them. The next day, the sheriff came to ask him, say, what happened to this bus? He said, yes, some politicians were passing and they had an accident. And he said, okay, so where are they? Are they in the hospital? He said, no, I buried all of them. He said, what happened? Were they all dead? He said, sir, well, some of them said they were not dead, but you know politicians, you cannot believe what they are saying. So I just buried all of them like that. But distinguished guests in this hall, we have politicians who will believe what they said. They told us in the campaigns, and they have delivered so far. Please clap for them. I'm inviting one man with a career spanning over 3 decades, who has carved a distinguished part in the Nigerian banking and financial sectors. From his early days in the Nigerian Continental Bank in the 1990s, to his leadership at the Green Bond Finance Company Limited. His journey is one of excellence, innovation, and an unwavering dedication to economic growth. As a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, professional excellence is marked by integrity and a commitment to advancing financial services in Nigeria. His transition from traditional banking to fintech-driven finances has further cemented his influence. As Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Green Bond Finance Limited, a finance company licensed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, he has spearheaded groundbreaking initiatives including the innovative Green Bond Mobile platform, which enhances access to financial solutions for individuals and businesses. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, beyond corporate boardrooms, his impact resonates across Nigeria's economic spectrum. His financial and project management acumen extends to vital sectors as oil and gas, real estate financing, and SMEs business financing. His ability to structure deals for multinationals and commercial enterprises is also worth commending. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome our own leader for today, the one who will help us with the unveiling. And as I announced earlier, he will speak a little about it. He will talk, and then we'll go to the podium to do the proper unveiling. May I invite the Managing Director of Green Bond Finances Limited, Mr. Lee Addition. Please put your hands together for me. Please, can we clap for him some more?
Thank you so very much. Good afternoon, everyone. To our MC, thank you so very much for the intro. There was just some missing gap, but I'll speak to that later. So let me greet Our Excellency, Kaduna State Governor, ably represented here. Our Royal Highness, Emir Zabza, also ably represented here. Our keynote speaker, who has left, but his presence is still being felt inside this room, is just a great man, citizen of this country that I'm certain most of us here, maybe 90% of us have not met him for once, but we've heard so much that the icon has done. Our distinguished guest, my elders that are here, my brothers, particularly from the Bello family, we're related from, the author here is my second cousin. And particularly also recognizing my uncle, Senator Ayode Adesina. And then other esteemed literary people and creatives that we have in this hall. My name is Lee Adesina, and I'm a senior banking executive in Nigeria. Just transforming from the Green Bond Finance Company and starting up a new bank next month by God's grace. And that bank is called CreatTent Bank. So we'll be driving banking and we'll be supporting creatives like this. And to be creative is to just get things done differently and to think through a process and be able to establish that and bring it to her. So I'm honored to really stand before you today as the chief launcher of this remarkable creative arts initiative. You see, the prof tried to say, hey, no, I'm not launching books, or I'm not a keynote speaker to book launching. So it's the creative aspect of what Baba Bello has done that we're trying to support. And I will require all of you here to really to support me in doing this. So first, I would like to commend the founder for his tireless efforts in establishing this creative initiative, together with 2 books. Baba, your dedication to harnessing creative talent, sharing knowledge, and inspiring others is truly commendable. These books are not just a collection of pages. They are key to unlocking new ideas, perspectives, and experiences. They have the power to educate, to inspire, and to challenge our assumptions. As you unveil this creative initiative and books today, I urge you all to please embrace the opportunities, the knowledge, wisdom, and insights that they may offer. Let us use these books as a tool for personal growth, and for community development, and for nation building. To the founder and author, I say thank you for these gifts. May your work be rewarded with success, and may your books find their way into the hearts and minds of readers everywhere in the world. It is now my pleasure to officially launch CreatTent Creative Arts Center with everyone here, and these books of aphorism. I so therefore seek you all to please join me in celebrating this achievement, and please, I'm sure the MC will be able to help us to do that and bring people up front here. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Okay.
May I just invite the representative executive governor and those of us in front, our royal father. With the author, please, those in front, can we just come? So we unveil the book, and then we'll we'll do two things together, both the book launch and the goodwill messages. The father of the author, may I especially appreciate Dr. C.D. Salaru, CEO, Initiative for the Advancement of Mining, Earth Science and Environment Protection. I hope I got that correct. Thank you. And Hajia Salima Sadi, Prime Scholars School. Please put your hands together for them. We also especially appreciate Haji Shaibu Bello. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. All right, while we are waiting for this, we'll invite the students to come up. Please, let's have you close by. We'll just take this picture. Are the students ready? Also, we need you in the middle here. You cannot write this book and be in the corner.
You want to use it? Okay, I should remove it.
Please, sir, please join us. Always in front,
before they will move it with the mic.
Our special guest.
The mic is with the MC. Okay, I will.
Decorators, can we move this table to the middle? Decorators, please. Okay. So that we can have a full line. Can we, every young man in the building, can you help us to move this table to the middle? I don't know what the leg of the table is like. I was emceeing a wedding and they tried to move the cake. And that was the end of that cake.
Just push it. Yes.
We have to go to the next party to borrow their cake. Please, let's bring our umbrella to the middle. Can we pass him the second mic, please? Well, photographers, are we in position? We need to take these pictures.
Let's move behind, please.
Last week.
Right, so let's do it now. To the honor of God, my child,
let's move back.
I will be unveiling this with everyone around me here. Your Excellency, Our Royal Highness, distinguished and able people all around here. And we pray that the success of this initiative will scroll just not within Nigeria, but will go beyond our country. Amen.
Okay, once we open, we'll now hold books. Each one will hold the book so that the photographers can take the picture. Just hold one of the books or two. Just make sure you are not turning the book upside down. We need to show the pictures, the books to the camera.
Yes.
Just show.
Small wall, golden words. The second one, and that has 234 axioms and aphorisms. And the second one is context and understanding, and that's got 377 axioms. Issued and authored by Bello Mohammed Bello.
Let's hold the books for the press. Just don't cover your face with it. Those in the audience, can we clap? Thank you very much. I want to assume that you have bought those copies you are holding. What is remaining is for you to pay.
No, so I think very sincerely, as much as the author has not asked for payments, in my humble sense, I think to be gifted, I mean, for all he's done, the print work and everything and the support he needs, I personally would be launching this with 1,500,000 each for each of his books.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1 million naira. Please put your hands together for Chief Launcher today and Unveiling. That's the foundation starting. And he has told me that nobody should launch lesser than him. Everybody should be higher.
Come.
1 million naira from Fezol. Thank you very much. Can we allow our royal father to go and sit down? We'll take a picture with the CreatTent in front. Students, can you? We're taking the next one, please. To 400,000 naira. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
I'm also going to say to the glory of Almighty Allah, on behalf of the Bishop family, worship, and the support of my nephew here, the KD, I will also launch the two books of 500,000 naira.
500,000 naira. Well, we for those who want to make transfers, we have account numbers already. We have them here, and I'll make sure that you get it quickly. Please, sir, the next person, sir. Yes, sir. Who's speaking next, sir? I know that I trust Kaduna State. They have never disappointed. The Kasnate governor and the PPS, they have told us some very important things, and I will only disclose it later. So we have the account number there. Yes, we have copies. We have copies. Please, where are the ushers? Can we have you so we have copies for? Can we take those bags where we put souvenirs so that we put the copies inside, please? We have somebody here who wants to say something.
I am Brigadier General Joachim Bello. On behalf of the Bello family, we are hereby launching this book with a sum of 500,000.
500,000 naira. Thank you very much. Sir, I wanted to say something. Okay, sir.
On behalf of myself and my family, I want to these two books.
100,000 naira. Thank you very much. He has given us so much support and goodwill, and he has always supported us even from the stage of writing. Thank you, sir. We are honored.
Well, my name is Suleiman Hassan. The father of author was my classmate in secondary school. In fact, he was our head boy. On behalf of my own class, I want to take 4 copies for 200,000. Myself and my family will take another 2 copies each for 100,000 naira.
Thank you very much. This is my director. Please clap for him. Clap for him.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of myself and my family, I will take 10 copies for the sum of 200,000 naira, which I've already paid at my sister.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The microphone. Okay, yes, sir. my orgasm, I've seen the alert. Please put your hands together for him. Oga, the alert, no complaint on this matter.
Well, I'm glad to be here, Mr. Chairman, and all distinguished guests. I was actually invited here by two strong men, Abdullah and Elijah Kabiru. I actually don't know the author from anywhere, but seeing the content of creativity and what it stands for, because without creativity, actually, I wonder if we could actually do anything at all in terms of production. And so I'm glad as a young man, seeing my colleague, a young man doing great things. And so I will support this book. I already have 2 copies. And so as a former commissioner who has no much money, I will send in 200,000.
Thank you very much. That's good. All right, we're taking more.
Hello, on behalf of my 2 friends, Suraj, who is launching is 200,000 for temples. Dr. Hassan, another friend of ours, is launching for 4 books for 50,000.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you. All right, thank you very much. We are still taking donations. Sir, is it your turn? I collect from family and friends. All right, thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Excellencies, Your Royal Highness, friends and family. The author of this book is a proper, when you say someone has real focus and is not deterred by certain things that we call impediments. Baba is like a younger brother to me, and ever since he got back from the United States, he's been telling me, I'm working on this, and he shares ideas, and in my quiet moment, I just feel like, how can God make somebody so talented? With joy, I'm so
know all that he has achieved today, and of course in the future, inshallah. On behalf of the very close friends of Bello and the community that we all come to brainstorm about life and the spirituality of living life, we are collectively, on behalf of that community, contributing 500,000.
That you say is on behalf of the community. Are you the one supporting or is the community? Okay. Your money is part of it. Okay. Please put your hands together for it. Representative of Honorable Bello El-Rufai, please put your hands together for him. All right. For the first time, I wanted to announce that I should hear a woman's voice. Please put your hands together.
Distinguished guests, please permit me to stand on all already established protocols. Unfortunately, my husband couldn't make it today. He's trying his best. Maybe he will catch the photo session at the end. But on behalf of me and my husband, we would like to pledge 1.5 million for the purchase of the books to be distributed to the Ismail El-Rufai Foundation, which will be distributed to 15 schools in Kaduna North Federal Constituency. Thank you.
Thank you very much. One Nigerian musician said, I will work on the music. Please put your hands together for her. Madam, thank you very much. So calmly, but you have shaken several now. Thank you. Please, let's hear others. Thank you, sir, please.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Ibrahim Baruch. Bello has been a very close family friend for a long time. Actually, he's a very close friend. I would say a senior friend of my son. And visit me a lot. We exchange ideas. And anytime I have a few minutes with Bello, I appreciate the wisdom that issues through the discussions we have. Like has been testified today, I'm often amazed that such a young man is packed full with a lot of wisdom. So when my son told me that the launching of this book, in fact, I'm privileged to have had advanced copies, which he personally autographed and gave me a long time ago. I put them on the table in my room. Occasionally I pick and read some pages. So I'm very familiar with the discussions today. So when my son told me that the launching is today, I actually shared some other programs so that I will be here. However, my launching today will be an anticlimax after the 1.5 launching by the lady. I'm not doing launching, as we said. I'm contributing and supporting the establishment of CreatTent. I know the relationship that we have struck with the Bello family will flourish and will do more in future. So I'll take 2 copies each for 100,000. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, I want to urge all the women to come to the front. Ma'am, you want to say something? Thank you. Thank you, sir. Distinguished, thank you very much. Thank you. May I appreciate Distinguished for the wonderful thing you're doing. Thank you, sir. I wish, in fact, I need to apply to be one of your constituents. Thank you. Our Royal Father, we appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, ma'am, let's hear your words.
On behalf of friends and mother of the latter, we touch these beautiful books that made our hearts.
100,000 is much. Thank you very much. For mothers coming with so much love and commitment. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. We are still doing this launch quickly. If you have not launched, please just call my attention. Should I come into the audience? Okay, I'm coming. If you don't want to come outside, I'll meet you where you are. Friends, even friends donate. Please, let's appreciate the Executive Governor of Kaduna State. Thank you very much. We are honored. All right. First, what to do? Is he going? He's not speaking. It's okay, he's the one speaking. They say you are the one speaking.
I'm speaking for, that's the community that we were talking about.
Okay, that community, should be on 500,000. May I especially appreciate Abdullah Zulon. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much. Is there any other person who is speaking? The friends, thank you. Okay. So you want to say anything? Who is speaking, sir? You're welcome, sir.
Good evening, good afternoon,
$200,000. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. What's the name of the company again? Fried rice. I was right at the rest. So do you have sample for me to test? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together. So you want to say something? I collect from family. Don't tell me your family. Sir, you have the book. Hello, ma. You have the book. Where did you buy it from? Black Market? All right. That's it. You didn't say anything. So it's something. You have the book. You are together. All of you. She wants to say something. You have discouraged her. Say something. It's 100,000. 10,000 naira. Please, can we bring the book for her? Where are the ushers? Bring the book now, collect here. This one, is it? This place looks like another item. Your Excellency, sir. Thank you very much for the honor. So I just say it. I will announce it. Okay. So we didn't invite the head of service. Thank you very much. We are honored. We are honored. Well, sir, you have not said anything since you came. Just say anything.
Purchased 2 books for some of them.
100,000 naira. Thank you very much. We are honored to have you, sir. Thank you. From here, are we saying anything? Ma, you want to say something about the books? You are not saying anything? Okay. All right. Thank you, ma. Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Ma, the account number. Okay, I'll get it across to you. Thank you. Thank you very much, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anybody in front here who wanted to say something I have not said? Sir? Thank you, sir.
Together with the father and right. So 200,000.
200,000 naira. You see? This is why somebody's father should go to school. I'm launching book now. I don't even know my father's classmate. Distinguished guests, please. Is there any other person who wants to make an announcement? We need to do this quickly so we can wrap up. We've had a wonderful event so far. Sir, you're calling me? I should come. Okay, sir. Sir, it's mine. I'm afraid to approach you. Okay, now I'm saying something. 100,000 naira. Thank you very much. Thank you. Somebody left their phone, this kind of phone. Please, Madam, wife of the author, please, can we bring the books so that these people can get their copies? They have almost paid, not paid yet. Those distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a good event. But there are some people who really must speak to us before we leave. So may I, especially at this point, invite my benefactor, who's also one we respect so much in various sectors, from the aviation sector to the build sector, to be able to champion these causes and not make a noise about it. May I invite the group chairman of IRS Group. Let's welcome Rabu to deliver a message to us on this very auspicious day of public presentation of these books.
I guess all the VIPs have left, but I will assume everybody here is a VIP for being able to honor this invitation. So I say all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Mine is a very short message, and it centers specifically on the author. What I've seen about the author is not only about the public presentation of his exceptional work, of his intellect, of his vision, of his inspiration, and his ability to be able to do the works he does in a very fine and special way. But his ability to be able to live a life that he would have lived if his father, his mother, and his brother would have been alive. May God bless them. But his father is here, and that alone is something to celebrate. I would like to bring to our attention that these works, these gifts, these talents that some people are blessed with by the Almighty God are very unique and very special. And whenever we get this opportunity, I think we should celebrate these people, we should encourage them, we should stand by them, we should, in whatever way possible, try to get those who can emulate them, emulate them. I want to congratulate the author, Mohammed Bello Mohammed, and his father, Dr. Alimi Bello, for being able to bring up such a fine, intelligent, hardworking, committed, focused, visionary gentleman who has done so much and to whom we look up to do so much more. I'm very impressed by the presentation and the presence of Professor Wale Shoinka, who stands as an icon wherever he is, not only in Nigeria, Africa, but around the world. And this underscores the importance of education. And I encourage each and every one of us to support our children and children's children and whoever we can to be educated in ways that we can make an impactful touch in the lives of people. I will continue to watch what he's doing and be part of his life and his legacy so that others and future generations can benefit from that. I appreciate the presence of the mixture and the Morites people that are here. And I would, on behalf of Dr. Bello, who is a very good friend, and Alaji Sani Abbas, thank each and every one of you for being able to make it to this occasion and pray for the unity, success, prosperity of our people and our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. I remember in those days when I was teaching in primary school in Kano. In those days when you teach primary school, you teach everything, including arts, IRK, CRK, one teacher. And they say, I said, what is the problem? One day they said I should just be teaching everything. I was teaching maths, arithmetic. This boy could not tell me 4+4, so I got angry and followed him home. By the time I got home, I asked his father, I said, why is your son? We teach him 4+4, he doesn't know. I didn't know that there was a problem in the house. The boy's younger sister said something to the father in Hausa. He said, Baba, 4+4, I say, at that point, we didn't know that the father also has some deficiency in arithmetic. So the father just looked at us and said, 4+4 chicken bill and the number 40 back to 44. We just left it. We couldn't continue the conversation. I knew that the thing was a problematic thing from the home. Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see that we've had a wonderful time, both with Prof, with the reviewer, with everyone, and particularly with my Rabiu, who has agreed to take me to Lagos and back to Kano and back to Abuja. I'm following every year, sir. May I invite Abdul Malik here to do for us the vote of thanks. Please put your hands together for him. Please, there's somebody's phone that is missing here. It's a Samsung phone, and it has no password. And I've seen your account number. If you don't come to collect it, I will donate it to the center. But please, if there's someone who's looking for their phone, please just meet me before we leave so we can give it back to you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope the phone doesn't get donated. Without wasting much of our time, I believe all that has been said was said, and all that I'm about to say has been said already, so I'll just keep my speech brief. Distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and fellow seekers of insight. As we bring this gathering to a close, it is only fitting to reflect on what today has meant, a confluence of thought, where ideas met inquiry, and where words took on new dimension. The Unveiling of CreatTent and the books of axioms and aphorisms was not just the presentation of works but an invitation to reflect, to question, and to see the familiar in unfamiliar ways. None of this would have been possible without the voices that shape our experience. From setting the stage with a warm welcome that settled us in purpose, to the distinguished governor of Kaduna State, His Excellency Senator Obasani, who was ably represented by Professor Ayuba. He offered us reflections that challenged us to see creativity as more than a personal pursuit, but as a force that shapes communities. The students of Prime Scholar School gave us a glimpse of unfiltered imagination, proof that the experience that we've received, which reminded us that wisdom, like creativity, knows no borders. The great Professor Wole Soyinka, with his keynote, did not offer simple answers. He never does. But instead left us with the kind of questions that linger. Madam Denja also offered new ways to engage with the works. And Mr. Ni Adeshewu and his unveiling of the book marked not just a release, but the beginning of new conversations. A special appreciation also goes to everyone who worked behind the scenes to make today seamless. Your efforts, often unseen, is deeply valued. This event was made possible because of your dedication, and for that, we are truly grateful. The spirit of CreatTent resonates with literary movements like Sahel Scribes that I founded, which began as a small gathering of writers, a space for their voice, and has grown into a community of over 270 members from 5 African countries that engages with real-world issues through poetry and storytelling. Spaces like this reminds us that creativity is not just about expression, it is about engagement. It is about using words to illuminate, to challenge, and to transform. As we live here, let's not just carry programs and pictures. Let's carry the words and ideas that have been set in motion. Let's remain curious, remain engaged, and most importantly, remain open to ways thought and creativity shape our world. Thank you for being part of this movement, of this moment. May the conversations continue. Thank you very much. Is the phone still going to be donated? Thank you.
The phone is still here, ladies and gentlemen. It has no password. Please let the owner come and collect it. I think they found it at the back there. No, it's the high table at the back. There's one high table here. Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten to that point where, especially, I really feel like asking the founder of the author to say a few words before we go. You know, do we all agree? Those who support say aye. Those against say, okay, the ayes are right. Please put your hands together for Daddy as he comes up and say a few words. We could not have pulled this through without a supportive father. True. Please clap for him, clap for him. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't intend to be what here, but the MC has just asked me to come and say something. I have to thank each and every one of us, especially my friends. I deliberately removed my name from the program and inserted my friend's name, Tani Abbas, to say something. There is something I normally say Every family has a story to tell. Every family. You all have it. I thank God that he was alive today. We're very unfortunate that, yes, the mother of this boy is not here with us. Yeah. But Allah has done the best we say. He's also his elder brother too, who is also not with us. For over 4 decades or 3 decades of our marriage with the mother, those are the only 2 kids. So he remains the only one surviving now. And he said he wants to do the family proud. When he came back from the US, he told me, we got a job for him in CBN. He said, Dad, I'm not going to work. He told me, it's not going to work. That he feels working in Nigeria is slavery. I said, say it again. Simplified that what he wants to do was to be an author, right book. I rejected that. I took him hand in hand to Professor Olusegun in Lagos. I said, Prof, this is my son. He said, I want to be writing books. Well, I don't want. I told Professor, I took Professor Olusegun in for this. And it is easier for me to see President Tinubu than to track down Olusegun. For over 2 years, this boy has been trying to track down Olusegun just for this day. It was impossible. And Olusegun realized somebody that is most sought of internationally. When you open his calendar, it's diary for me, from January to December. When last week he called from Abu Dhabi, I said, Dr. Bello, where is Bello? I said, he's here with me. Okay, we must launch this book on Saturday on the 15th. Let me put it there. Because Olusegun developed interest in him. In fact, I took him to Olusegun. If they become more closer with Olusegun, it's fine, no problem. And through Olusegun Foundation, he has gone out of the country to run the act of writing. I say, I want to thank Professor Olusegun for this, and at least for us living up to date. He has been a wonderful person. He has been a wonderful boy, and he keep on telling me, I won't be surprised if by the time we get out of this war, this hall, Bello will write a book on this or whatever, maybe a chapter. That is a natural gift he has. If you sit down with you, he'll be observing you, he'll be noticing you, and by the time you'll be surprised to see a paragraph or 2 paragraphs of the book. And that is what he does, and all these things you see in the book. And these 2 books, to others' wish, has been adopted by federal government again. It's over schools now. And that is one thing we have to thank Allah. Why I didn't want to say much, and I want to be brief, is the fact that we thank God, and I wish him well with his beautiful wife. The mother died without witnessing his marriage, and that was her wish before she left this world. And the night she would die, they spoke with the wife to be. Unfortunately, she didn't live the following day. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the happiest person, and I must say I will rest because from the pressure of Bello, he confirmed more with my friend Sani Abbas, because Sani Abbas knows more about this Bello than myself. And I think I will rest because this is the day. In fact, last week he challenged me and said that, Baba, we must do this thing. I said, Inshallah, we will do it. Thank you very much. And I wish each and every one of us safe journey to our respective destination. And I want to thank everyone here, at least for witnessing today and supporting me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We will have missed this information. We are not pleaded with him to say something. The next person, I just wanted to call him to pray, but I think we'll just ask him to also say a few things before he closes us with prayer. Please let's invite Alhaji Yusuf Sani Abbas to say something.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to most sincerely thank everybody for finding time to come out on this function, which is very dear to us. Wise Baba, I would like to most sincerely thank everybody for coming. Baba, I'm thrilled to personally extend my warmest congratulations to you for this book launch. This is a significant milestone in your life and your writing journey. Your dedication and passion for storytelling shine through you and through these works that you have done. As you embark on this journey and the new chapter in your life, may you continue to explore your creativity, share your unique voice with the world, and reach the level that we expect that you'll reach. The future is bright for you. You are talented, you are dedicated, and this is the love of your life. May Allah guide you, and we wish you all the best. Thank you very much all for coming.
Well, prayers, usually what I do with such occasion, I think, is just to tell everybody to pray for a minute silently, and then we close together. So 1 minute prayer, every person in your own various faith. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take each and every one of us back to our various destination. May this function be blessed. May each and every person who attended this function be rewarded. May we have opportunities to see future functions from different Nigerians, different children, different parents, and may we all prosper, live in peace, prosperity, unity, and security. Amen.
Thank you very much, distinguished guests. We're honored to have you, particularly for staying till the end of this. My name is Ben Too Hungry, half human, half amazing. It's an honor being your MC for today. Thank you.
I have the card, but I'll come for the autograph. I'll send you an SMS.